In May 2025, Taylor Swift achieved a milestone that many artists only dream of. She regained full ownership of the master recordings for her first 6 albums. This victory was the culmination of a years-long battle for artistic control, marking a significant moment in her illustrious career and explaining why she's once again dominating headlines today. The reverberations of this achievement extend far beyond her personal triumph, sparking widespread discussions about intellectual property, artist empowerment, and the evolving landscape of the music industry. It cemented her status not just as a global superstar, but as a trailblazer who dared to challenge the established order and emerged victorious, setting a precedent that will undoubtedly inspire countless artists in the future. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989, in Reading, Pennsylvania. Raised in nearby Wyoming, Taylor's affinity for storytelling through music was evident from a young age. Her early childhood was marked by a natural inclination towards creative expression, often manifesting in the form of imaginative play and a deep fascination with narratives. She gravitated towards poetry and fiction, often weaving intricate storylines into her school assignments and developing characters with depth and emotional resonance. This nascent talent for crafting compelling stories, coupled with an innate understanding of human emotion, would later become the bedrock of her songwriting prowess. Influenced by country legends like Shania Twain, Faith Hill, and the Dixie Chicks, she began writing songs as a child, often inspired by her own experiences, observations of the world around her, and the intricate social dynamics of her peer group. She didn't just listen to music, she absorbed it, dissecting lyrics and melodies, trying to understand the magic behind the hits and how they resonated with listeners. At 11 years old, displaying an audacious confidence beyond her years, she convinced her parents to take her to Nashville, the heart of country music, to drop off demo CDs of her singing karaoke covers. This act of bold initiative, at such a remarkably young age, foreshadowed the unwavering determination and strategic thinking that would define her career. Most labels turned her away, citing her youth, an oversaturated market, or a lack of immediate commercial viability. But she didn't give up. Taylor's persistence and determination, fueled by an unshakable belief in her own talent and a clear, almost prescient vision for her future, would soon pay off. At the age of 14, Taylor and her family made a pivotal decision, uprooting their lives and moving to Hendersonville, Tennessee, specifically to give her a better shot at a music career. This was a significant sacrifice for the entire family, a testament to their unwavering support for Taylor's ambitious dreams and their recognition of her extraordinary talent. The move proved to be a critical turning point. Almost immediately, she was discovered by Scott Borchetta, who had just formed a new label, Big Machine Records. Borchetta, with a keen eye for talent and an understanding of the evolving music landscape, recognized her raw talent, undeniable charisma, and the unique relatability of her songwriting. He saw in Taylor the potential to be not just a star, but a generational artist. Taylor became the label's first signing, a decision that would prove to be mutually beneficial for over a decade, propelling both artist and label to unprecedented heights of success, at least initially. In 2006, at just 16 years old, she released her debut self-titled album. The album included hits like Tim McGraw, a nostalgic ode to a country music icon that perfectly encapsulated the wistful romance of youth, Our Song, a charming and relatable narrative of young love that quickly became a fan favorite, and Teardrops on My Guitar, a poignant exploration of unrequited affection that showcased her vulnerability. These early tracks showcased her innate talent for blending emotional lyricism with relatable storytelling, often drawing directly from her own teenage experiences and the universal themes of adolescence. The record was a commercial success, quickly catapulting her into the spotlight and making her a teen sensation in the country music scene. Her songs resonated deeply with a generation of young listeners who saw their own lives, hopes, and heartbreaks reflected in her honest and heartfelt lyrics, establishing an immediate and powerful connection. As Taylor's confidence grew, nurtured by her early success and growing recognition, her songwriting matured and deepened, reflecting her evolving understanding of relationships and the complexities of life. Her sophomore album, Fearless, released in 2008, became a phenomenon that transcended genre boundaries and transformed her from a promising newcomer into a global sensation. It included mega hits like Love Story, a modern fairy tale set to a sweeping country pop melody that captivated audiences worldwide, and You Belong With Me, an anthem for the underdog in love that became an instant sing-along classic. These songs broke barriers between country and pop, reaching a broader, more diverse audience than ever before, and demonstrating her innate ability to craft universal melodies and narratives. Fearless was not just a commercial success, it was a critical darling, earning widespread acclaim and winning 4 Grammy Awards, including the highly coveted Album of the Year, making Taylor the youngest artist to ever receive the honor at the time. The album sold millions of copies worldwide, solidifying her global appeal and proving that her crossover potential was undeniable. She was no longer just a beloved country artist. She was a mainstream force, a pop star in the making. By the time she released Speak Now in 2010, Taylor had taken complete creative control, famously writing every single song on the album herself without any co-writers. This decision was a powerful statement of her artistic independence, a direct response to critics who questioned her songwriting contributions and insinuated that her hits were largely the product of a collaborative team. Songs like Back to December, a rare and brave apology in the typically unrepentant world of pop music, and Dear John, a raw, revealing, and deeply personal letter to a former lover, revealed a deeper, more introspective writer, unafraid to expose her vulnerabilities and the intimate details of her relationships to public scrutiny. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, further solidifying Taylor's status as not just a gifted singer, but a genuine poet with a vast and dedicated global fan base. Her songwriting, emotional, raw, often confessional, and always deeply relatable, became the stuff of legend, a distinctive voice that resonated with millions who sought authenticity and genuine emotion in their music. She had a unique, almost uncanny ability to articulate complex feelings in simple, yet profound ways, forging an unbreakable bond with her listeners. In 2012, Taylor released Red, a sonically adventurous album that marked a significant departure from her previous work, blending country, pop, and even elements of rock, showcasing her willingness to experiment and push artistic boundaries. It featured hits like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, a defiant, upbeat pop anthem that became her first #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, I Knew You Were Trouble, a more rock-influenced track exploring a tumultuous relationship with dramatic flair, and the emotionally charged All Too Well, a masterclass in narrative songwriting that became an instant fan favorite and is widely considered one of her greatest lyrical achievements. Critics began to acknowledge her as one of the best songwriters of her generation, recognizing her evolution from a country sweetheart to a versatile artist capable of navigating diverse musical landscapes with ease and authenticity. Red marked a significant shift, a conscious farewell to her traditional country roots, both sonically and thematically, and a definitive step toward mainstream pop domination. It was a transitional album, brimming with raw emotion and experimental sounds, that hinted at the pop powerhouse she was destined to become. That shift became complete and undeniable in 2014 with 1989, her first official pop album. Named after her birth year, the album was a deliberate and masterful reinvention, a conscious move away from country instrumentation and thematic elements, fully embracing 1980s synth-pop influences. With chart-topping singles like Shake It Off, an upbeat and defiant response to her critics that encouraged embracing individuality, Blank Space, a brilliantly satirical take on her public persona and the media's fascination with her love life. In style, a sleek, sophisticated, and undeniably catchy pop gem. The album was a cultural juggernaut. It won Taylor her second Album of the Year Grammy, an unprecedented feat for an artist of her generation at that time, and cemented her place as a global pop superstar. 1989 wasn't just a change in sound. It was a comprehensive rebranding, a bold declaration that Taylor Swift could reinvent herself artistically while maintaining her core identity and connecting with an even wider, more diverse audience. The album's massive, widespread success proved that her artistic risks were paying off in spectacular fashion, establishing her as a bona fide pop icon. But fame, particularly at the stratospheric level Taylor had achieved, came with intense, almost suffocating scrutiny. In the years that followed the release of 1989, Taylor found herself embroiled in a series of highly publicized public feuds, relentless tabloid controversies, and a massive wave of online backlash. Her highly publicized dispute with Kanye West and Kim Kardashian in 2016, stemming from a misconstrued phone call and subsequent media frenzy that involved leaked, edited recordings and the widespread use of snake emojis, painted her as a manipulative figure in the court of public opinion. The narrative spiraled wildly out of control, fueled by social media echo chambers and relentless media speculation that seemed determined to tear her down. Taylor, overwhelmed by the negativity and feeling a profound sense of betrayal, went underground, vanishing from public view for months, a stark contrast to her usually omnipresent public persona. When she returned in 2017 with Reputation, it was clear she had something profound, raw, and defiant to say, a powerful and visceral response to the trials she had endured. Reputation was darker, more aggressive, and loaded with biting commentary about media perception, betrayal, and the insidious nature of public scrutiny and the loss of privacy. Songs like "Look What You Made Me Do," a direct, unapologetic, and almost vengeful address to her detractors, and "Ready for It?" a bolder, more confident declaration of intent that oozed an edgy confidence, presented a Taylor who had been deeply burned but was utterly unafraid to retaliate and claim her power. It was a polarizing album, with some critics finding its themes too bitter or vindictive, while others praised its raw honesty, artistic bravery, and bold reinvention. Ultimately, it was an album that powerfully reminded listeners of her profound resilience, her ability to evolve creatively under pressure, and her unique capacity to transform pain into powerful, resonant art. It was a defiant roar, a forceful reclamation of her narrative in the face of overwhelming public criticism. Then came the transformation, a deliberate and striking pivot back towards lighter, more optimistic themes. In 2019, Taylor released Lover, a colorful, romantic, and profoundly hopeful album that was a stark contrast to its predecessor's introspective darkness and defensive posture. It celebrated love in all its forms, from the exhilarating euphoria of infatuation to the quiet, comforting moments of companionship, and embraced broader themes of self-acceptance, inclusivity, and standing up for what is right. But behind the scenes, a storm was brewing, one that would redefine her career trajectory and ignite a major industry battle that would ultimately reshape the future for artists. That same year, Big Machine Records, the label she had called home for over a decade and to which she had given her formative years and groundbreaking work, was sold to music executive Scooter Braun. This sale directly transferred ownership of the master recordings of Taylor's first 6 albums to him, a move she vehemently condemned as a profound betrayal and an act of calculated aggression. This acquisition meant that Braun, a figure with whom Taylor had a long-standing, contentious relationship, now controlled the original sound recordings of her most iconic and personally significant work, effectively owning her artistic past. Taylor claimed she had never been offered the chance to buy back her own work, arguing that the sale was deliberately orchestrated to punish her and strip her of her artistic legacy and control. The loss of her masters was not just a personal affront. It sparked a much larger, industry-wide conversation about artists' rights, intellectual property, fair compensation, and the deeply entrenched power dynamics within the music business that often disadvantage creators. Refusing to back down and unwilling to allow her hard-won creative output to remain in the hands of someone she felt had wronged her and represented a predatory system, she announced a bold, unprecedented, and revolutionary plan. She would systematically re-record all 6 of her Big Machine-era albums and release them as Taylor's version. The goal was multifaceted: to devalue the original recordings held by Braun and subsequent purchasers, to empower herself by creating new masters that she fully owned and controlled, and to reclaim her artistic legacy in the most definitive, undeniable way possible. This audacious move was a testament to her extraordinary business acumen, her unwavering commitment to artistic autonomy, and her profound understanding of her own power and influence. The re-recordings began in earnest with Fearless, Taylor's version, in April 2021, followed by Red, Taylor's version, in November of the same year. Both albums were massive successes, not only earning widespread critical acclaim for their faithful yet refreshed renditions, but also achieving significant commercial triumph, often outperforming the original releases on charts and breaking streaming records. Fans celebrated not only the nostalgia of revisiting beloved songs, but also the inclusion of vault tracks, previously unreleased songs that were cut from the original versions, offering new insights into her creative process, lyrical evolution, and adding immense value and excitement to the re-recordings. All Too Well, 10-minute version, Taylor's version, became an unprecedented viral phenomenon, resonating globally and further showcasing her unparalleled songwriting brilliance and the enduring power of her narrative depth. The re-recordings were more than just new versions of old songs. They were meticulously planned cultural events, deeply engaging her dedicated fan base and drawing in millions of new listeners who admired her fight for control. In 2022, demonstrating her continued artistic vitality and refusal to rest on past laurels, she dropped Midnights, a completely new project that returned to her pop sensibilities with a captivating mix of introspection, synth-heavy sounds, and a lyrical exploration of anxieties and insecurities experienced in the late-night hours. This album proved that Taylor wasn't merely relying on nostalgia from her re-recordings. She was still innovating, experimenting, and leading the music industry forward with fresh contemporary sounds and themes. Midnights was a massive, immediate hit, breaking numerous streaming records and further solidifying her status as a prolific, relevant, and constantly evolving artist. The album's success demonstrated her remarkable ability to seamlessly transition between re-recording her past and creating entirely new material, maintaining her creative momentum and artistic relevance. Then came Speak Now, Taylor's version, in July 2023, and 1989, Taylor's version, in October 2023, continuing the powerful momentum of her re-recording project. Each re-recording became a meticulously anticipated cultural event, with fans dissecting every lyric, every vault track, and every subtle Easter egg with obsessive fervor, turning the release into a collaborative treasure hunt. Her strategy was working beyond anyone's wildest expectations, transforming what was initially a devastating professional setback into an unprecedented artistic and commercial triumph that reshaped industry norms. Taylor, once again, had turned the tables, demonstrating an unparalleled ability to strategize, execute on a grand scale, and leverage her powerful connection with her fan base. What started as a corporate setback had truly become an artistic revolution, inspiring other artists to consider their own ownership rights and empowering them to fight for their creative control. Beyond music, Taylor emerged as a formidable advocate for artists' rights, gender equality, and LGBTQ+ causes, demonstrating a profound sense of social responsibility. She used her massive platform to speak out on political issues, actively encouraging her fans to register to vote and openly supporting progressive candidates and policies. A stark contrast to her earlier political silence that had often drawn criticism. Her Netflix documentary, Miss Americana, released in 2020, offered an intimate, raw, and incredibly vulnerable look at her personal growth, the immense pressures of fame, and her determination to find her voice, not just as an artist, but as a woman navigating immense public scrutiny and societal expectations. The documentary humanized her in a profound way, revealing the struggles, sacrifices, and immense strength behind the superstardom and her evolving sense of civic engagement. By 2023, Taylor was in the midst of her record-breaking Eras Tour, a globe-spanning, meticulously crafted concert series that celebrated every phase of her illustrious career, from her early country days to her latest pop anthems. The tour was a breathtaking journey through her vast and diverse discography, a testament to her artistic evolution and the enduring power of her live performances. The Eras Tour shattered attendance and revenue records worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing concert tour of all time, solidifying her status not just as a pop star, but as a cultural institution, a phenomenon unlike any other in contemporary music. The sheer scale, ambition, and unprecedented success of the tour underscored her enduring appeal, her unmatched stage presence, and her unparalleled connection with her fan base, who packed stadiums night after night. In May 2025, after years of relentless persistence, complex legal battles, and exceptionally savvy business maneuvering, Taylor completed her journey to reclaim her artistic legacy. She successfully purchased the rights to the master recordings that had once been sold without her consent, a monumental victory that sent shockwaves throughout the music industry and resonated globally. The intricate deal was struck with Shamrock Capital, the private equity firm that had bought the masters from Scooter Braun in late 2020. This acquisition marked the final, triumphant step in her audacious reclamation project, bringing her fight for artistic freedom to a resounding close. Taylor now fully owns the masters, publishing rights and artwork for all her albums, a comprehensive and truly rare level of ownership in the music industry for an artist of her stature. The move marked the culmination of her multi-year fight for artistic control, a moment of profound justice and victory, both personal and professional. It was a tangible manifestation of her unwavering resolve, her strategic brilliance, and her dedication to setting a new standard for artist empowerment. She revealed that while she has meticulously completed re-recordings of her earlier albums, the highly anticipated Reputation, Taylor's version, is still underway. Fans have widely speculated that the delay is intentional, given the intense emotional weight, complexity, and deeply personal nature of that era in her life, a period marked by unprecedented public scrutiny, personal challenges, and profound growth. The re-recording of Reputation is anticipated with particular eagerness, as it represents a unique opportunity for Taylor to revisit and potentially recontextualize one of her most intensely defiant and publicly scrutinized albums, offering a new perspective on that turbulent period. But Taylor has consistently promised that the wait will be worth it, and that the final vault tracks for Reputation, Taylor's version, will be released in due time, undoubtedly adding another layer of excitement, intrigue, and raw honesty to the project. The careful, deliberate timing of this final re-recording highlights her strategic approach to her career, her profound understanding of her narrative, and her unparalleled connection with her fan base, who understand and appreciate her thoughtful, deliberate decisions. Taylor Swift's journey is not just one of remarkable musical evolution, but also of unparalleled empowerment, fierce resilience, and unflinching courage in the face of immense adversity. She fundamentally redefined what it means to be a female artist in a male-dominated industry, challenging long-standing norms, demanding respect, and setting new benchmarks for creative and business independence. Her story is a powerful, inspiring narrative of artistic ownership and standing up for creative rights, regardless of the immense cost or the powerful, entrenched forces she faced. She went from a teenage country singer in cowboy boots, strumming her guitar and singing about high school crushes and small-town dreams, to one of the most powerful, influential, and respected voices in music, a global icon whose impact extends far beyond the realm of entertainment, touching politics, social justice, and economic models. Her narrative is a compelling testament to the transformative power of self-belief, unwavering determination, and strategic genius in the face of overwhelming odds. She has become an unparalleled exemplar for aspiring artists across all genres, demonstrating that reclaiming one's narrative and owning one's work is not only possible, but paramount to long-term creative freedom, financial independence, and lasting legacy. Today, with her entire expansive discography firmly under her control, Taylor Swift is not just rewriting her past through her meticulously crafted re-recordings, she's fundamentally reshaping the future of the music industry itself. Her unprecedented actions have directly inspired legislative discussions concerning artist rights, irrevocably altered contractual negotiations for new and established artists alike, and fundamentally shifted the global conversation around intellectual property and entertainment. Her name is now synonymous with not only unparalleled talent, versatile artistry, and groundbreaking commercial success, but also with fierce advocacy, unwavering self-determination, and a groundbreaking commitment to artistic integrity and empowerment for all creators. And in doing so, she's ensured that her legacy will endure long after the music stops, serving as a powerful, enduring beacon for generations of artists to come. A timeless testament to the indomitable spirit of an artist who dared to reclaim her story, and in doing so, change the world.